Book of Heaven, Volume 35, March 22nd, 1938. As the creature decides to live in the divine will, all things change for her, and she is placed in the same divine conditions. The function of the children of the divine fiat and how they will carry within them the life of their celestial Father. The last sign of love at the moment of death. I continue my flight in the divine volition. Upon entering it, one can feel its balsamic air and its pacifying waves. Everything is peace. Its strength is such that the soul feels invested by such fortitude that in one instant she can do anything, reach anywhere, even unto doing what God Himself does. Divine will, how capable you are of changing the human will. Your power is such that you renew the poor creature, making her be reborn to new life. Then, my lovable Jesus, coming back for his short little visit, all tenderness told me,
"My little daughter of my will, as the creature decides to live in my volition, all things change for her. Our divine dominion invests her, and we make her dominator of everything. Dominator of our strength, of our goodness, of our sanctity. Dominator of the light. Heaven and earth are hers by right. We place her in an atmosphere of security and of imperturbable peace. Nothing of what is good, holy, beautiful, and divinely joyful must be lacking to this creature who lives in our will. All of her littlest acts are filled with such contentments as to captivate the smile of all heaven and of our very supreme being. Therefore we are all attentive to see when she loves and operates, so as to enjoy her and smile together. Our love is such that we place her in our same conditions. Even if we are not loved, we love. Even if we are ignored and maybe even offended, we continue to give life. And if the creature comes back to us asking for forgiveness, we don't reproach her at all. Rather, we embrace her and clasp her to our divine bosom. So it can be said that man can only trust us. As for creatures, not only can he not trust them, but he will find in them mutability, deception, and the moment he thinks he can lean on them, they will quit. Now, man can only trust the creature who lives in our will. This creature will act as we do. Unloved, she will love. Ignored and offended, she will run after the offender to place him in safety. We feel ourselves within the one who lives in our will, and therefore we love her so much that we do nothing other than pour rivers of love upon her, to be loved more and more, with doubled and increasing love."
After this, he added with more tender and touching love,
"My daughter, the whole creation was made in one outpouring of our most intense love. Therefore, the children of our fiat will serve the necessity of our love. My love feels the need to pour itself out. Otherwise, we feel suffocated inside our own flames. Here is the necessity of the children of our will. As a continuous outpouring of our love, we will put them in our same condition of feeling the need to pour out their love with us, and we will pour out love into each other. Just as creation started in an outpouring of love of ours, in the same way we will fulfill it together with our children, in an outpouring of love. These children of ours will serve to the complete glory of all creation. It would not be a work worthy of us if we did not receive the glory that the creatures owe us for our having created so many things for love of them. And besides, there is the highest, the most noble, holy and sublime point, that we created everything so that all might be enclosed and animated by our will. Hence, just as we issued the creation, so must it return to us, into our adorable fiat. If we didn't do so, it would seem as if we had not enough power to do it all, or not enough love to be able to conquer all, or wisdom to dispose of everything. Therefore, the children of our fiat will serve to make us fulfill our will in them, and this is why they will be our glory, our triumph, our victory. They will be our true children, who will not only carry our image, but the life of the celestial Father himself, as their own life dwelling in them. These children of ours will be our life, our heavens, our suns. Oh, how we will delight in creating in them winds that blow love, and seas that murmur, I love you, We will find everything in them. There will be no more difference between heaven and earth. They will form one single thing for us, whether we keep them with us in heaven or with us on earth. Therefore, take to heart the thing that should concern you the most, to live in our divine will. Our love will find its rest, its outpouring, its peace in you, as well as the beginning of our happiness on earth in the heart of the creature. Our will hover over you constantly to make our life grow in you, and our love will send you its continuous breath, to love you with ever new love and to receive yours as the expression and requital of its love.
After this, my beloved Jesus added, but with such unspeakable tenderness that I felt my heart crack,
My good daughter, if everyone knew what I am telling you, what my will does with the creature, how it lives with her, they would all throw themselves into its arms, never to detach again. You must know that my will acts as a true mama for the creature. It creates her with its creative hands and conceives her inside the maternal womb, nor does it ever leave her alone, not even for one instant. In this maternal womb, as though inside a sacrarium, it forms her. It gives her the use of her limbs. It rears her with its breath. It gives her warmth, and when it has formed her well, it makes her be born to daylight. But it never leaves her alone. More than mother, it remains always over her, watching over her, assisting her, giving her motion, the articulation of her members, the breathing, the heartbeat. And as she grows, it gives her the use of the word and step to her feet. There is nothing that the creature does which my will does not do together with her, to give her the use of the human life. So the beginning of the human life, both of the soul and of the body, is formed entirely by my will, which remains in it as though inside its refuge, to give it perennial life. Now, my daughter, until guilt begins in the creature, everything is my will. But as guilt begins, so do the tears and pains of this celestial mother. Oh, how it cries over its child! But it does not leave him. Its love binds it to live in that creature in order to give her life. And although it feels its divine life being as though suffocated and maybe not even known or loved, the love of my will is so great that it follows her life regardless of any offense, to make a surprise of love and save its child. Our goodness and our love are such that we try all ways, we use all means to snatch her from sin, to place her in safety. And if we don't succeed during her life, we make the last surprise of love at the moment of her death. Now, you must know that in that moment, we give the last sign of love to the creature, and we endow her with graces, with light, with goodness. We place such tendernesses of love as to soften and conquer the hardest hearts. And when the creature finds herself between life and death, between time that is about to end and eternity that is about to begin, almost in the act of her leaving the body, I, your Jesus, make myself seen with a loveliness that enraptures, with a sweetness that chains and sweetens the bitternesses of life, especially in that extreme moment. Then my gaze, I look at her, but with so much love as to snatch from her an act of contrition, one act of love, one adhesion to my will. Now in that moment of the stripping of illusion, in seeing and in touching with their own hands how much we have loved them and do love them, the creatures feel such sorrow that they repent for not having loved us. They recognize our will as the origin and completion of their lives, and as satisfaction, they accept death to fulfill one act of our will. In fact, you must know that if the creature did not do even one act of the will of God, the doors of heaven would not be opened. She would not be recognized as heiress of the celestial fatherland. The angels and the saints cannot admit her into their midst, nor would she want to enter, because she would recognize that it does not belong to her. Hence, without our will, there is no true sanctity and no salvation. How many are saved by virtue of this sign of ours? All love, with the exception of the most perverted and obstinate, although it would be necessary for them to go through the long path of purgatory. The moment of death is our daily catch, the finding of the lost man.
Then he added,
My daughter, the moment of death is the hour of the loss of illusion. In that point all things present themselves, one after the other, to say to the creature, Goodbye, the earth is ended for you, now begins eternity for you. It happens to the creature as when she is locked inside a room and someone says to her, Behind this room there is another room, in which there is God, paradise, purgatory, hell, in sum, eternity. But she can see none of these. She hears them being asserted by others, but since those who speak about them cannot see them either, they speak in a way that is almost not credible, not giving great importance to making their words believed as reality, as something certain. Now one day the walls fall down, and she can see with her own eyes what they had told her before. She sees her God and Father, who has loved her with great love. One by one, she sees the benefits that he has done to her, and how she has broken all the rights of love that she owed him. She sees how her life belonged to God, not to herself. Everything passes before her. Eternity, paradise, purgatory, hell. The earth runs away from her. Pleasures turn their back on her. Everything disappears. The only thing that remains present to her is in that room whose walls have fallen down. That is eternity. What a change for the poor creature. My goodness is such, wanting everyone to be saved, that I allow the falling of these walls when the creatures find themselves between life and death, at the moment in which the soul exits the body to enter eternity, so that they may make at least one act of contrition and of love for me, recognizing my adorable will over them. I can say that I give them 1 hour of truth in order to rescue them. Oh, if all knew my industries of love, which I perform in the last moment of their lives, so that they might not escape from my hands, more than paternal, they would not wait for that moment, but they would love me all their lives.
Fiat.